What's the deal, YouTube? It's your boy NXTGEN720, and I'm back with another video. And today's another one-on-one with NXTGEN720. Um, Today I'm going to be interviewing a Nintendo guy, Wiiumad gamer. Okay, yeah. Introduce yourself, shout yourself out.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Wiiumad Gamer. Y'all
Okay,
can catch me on my website, WiiumadGamers.com, or on my YouTube channel, The Wiiumad Gamers Show.
okay. All right, so he been. Where you from? Where you first? Tell me where you from.
California?
California. Okay, that's
Yeah,
why
yeah.
we always kind of bump heads on trying to do the show. Okay, you're in California.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so how old are you? Tell me something about yourself before we get in. Tell me something about yourself.
33, been gaming since the 80s, mainly Nintendo, but, last generation I jumped over to, got a PlayStation, this time got an Xbox, do game development too. Well,
Oh,
actually, I'm
okay,
starting that, yeah, getting into that right now.
okay. Now, okay, so all right, so all right, so you guys are like kind of like the dinosaurs. You guys are like not saying that you guys. I'm talking about as far as Nintendo fans. A lot
Yeah,
of you guys are. First of all, I'd like to give you appreciate you coming on my show.
yeah.
A lot. I don't know for whatever reason. I would try to interview a lot of Nintendo people, not saying any names. Like before, when I first came to YouTube, I used to be one question you see in my videos. I used to go in on motherfuckers on the Wii U, the Wii. I'm just being real. All speaking freely. Like I said, and not saying that games have to be all gory and to have a good game. I
Yeah.
just didn't really understand how like grown men, and I'm not trying to be funny way how grown men more or less can be happy about a Mario Kart game or I'm just saying, you understand what I'm saying, or a
Yeah, yeah.
Kirby game. Not saying the game it can be fine. Just those games type of games don't interest me. Now, with that being said, I guess you see in the background playing Plants vs Zombie Garden Warfare. What I mean, it's more like a cartoony type game, but the shit is fun as hell. So maybe I can see it. But anyway, make a long story short. With all that being said, hoopla. Wii U Mad Gamer, okay?
Mhm.
Are you a Wii U owner?
Yeah, I got it day one.
Day one, such as myself. Now,
Yeah.
Wii U. Now, how should I say this? Okay, I'm trying to be politically correct. But with Nintendo, I'm gonna take you back to E3 2012 when they took the stage and they said that the days of Nintendo being left behind. They're going back after the fans they lost to Sony and after the fans they
Hmm.
lost to Microsoft.
Yeah.
Do you think that they were true to their word in doing that, or do you think that they still don't get it? Honest opinion now.
They not even close. They still don't get it. See, my thing is if they were gonna go after the fans they lost to PlayStation and Xbox, they would have to have brought out a system without the name Wii U. They had to take the Wii out of the name because the Wii was like a casual system, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they going into it with another console and they're still calling it Wii. I think people when they hear that name they think of the last generation system. And I know Sony fans and Microsoft fans didn't own the Wii.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is at first I didn't think the power was an issue, because it's not as powerful as the PS4 and Xbox One. And when they were talking to E3, they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna have the same, games. We can run everything at 1080p." But they were comparing that to the 360 and PS3.
Oh.
Nintendo's kind of slick when they're E3. The way they talk.
Mm.
I remember when the GameCube came out, and or not the GameCube, the original Wii, and they were talking about are they someone asked Miyamoto are they worried about the graphics between the 360 and the Wii, and they said you won't be able to tell a difference between the original Wii and the 360, but then they said especially when you're not on the HDTV, so you got to watch what Nintendo says sometimes, and so the power thing I didn't think it was a big difference or a big deal at first, but now when you look at it, these developers are creating these games from the ground up on the PS4, Xbox One, and in order to put them on the Wii U, they got to downgrade. They got to, sacrifice the original vision.
Okay.
So Nintendo should have known that going in. Nintendo's not dumb. It's a 100-year-old company. They've been
Okay.
in gaming since the early '80s. They should have been sitting back during the Wii, the last generation, looking at what Sony and Microsoft are doing, what fans are gravitating towards, and they should have been ready to implement that in the new console, but they didn't do none of that. So no, I don't think they're getting any of those fans from Sony or Microsoft back.
Okay.
and they're going to lose fans if they keep doing what they're doing.
Okay, now listen, prime example. You're in my Facebook group, Bang Bang Next Gen Gamers. I remember me asking you. You reached out and say, "Hey, I mean, you left a comment or something in my Facebook group. You getting the Xbox One?" And then I asked you the first two things I asked you, like going from the Wii U to the Xbox One visually.
Hmm.
Like I'm asking, could you tell the difference right away? Like was it big? Like oh shit, you know what I mean? Like I know, I'm being honest. Like the videos here on YouTube and stuff, they don't do the Xbox One or the PS4 any justice as far as like rap. You know what I mean? If you don't have a next generation console, or you never seen
Hmm.
one of like is it big? I asked you, was it evident at first? Did you see like oh shit? Did it blow your mind or what?
Yeah, so the first game I got was Forza, and you could tell right away there was a difference. Yeah, the Wii U, the games look good, in their own right. Like you said, they got that cartoony look, but they still look good. But yeah, I think it was evident from the beginning that the Xbox is more capable.
Okay.
So yeah, it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, all right. Here's the thing. Now we gonna now we here's the part. I don't pull no punches.
Hi.
Now myself, and like I said the other day, a lot of time I say things. I said the other day for shock value, and I'm gonna say it again. I'm not a Wii U hater or Nintendo hater.
Hmm.
I don't hate. I hate the Wii U. I'm not a Nintendo hater. Like I said before, I just hold up my first console. I just showed my Nintendo in the background just now. You
Hmm.
see it when you watch the video. Like Nintendo was my first console, and I always felt like I've I've grown up with Nintendo, but Nintendo didn't grow up with me. I
Yeah.
remember the days of Nintendo, like they in their glory, Russian Attack, Double Dribble. They had all the third parties, all what I mean, all these great games. And
Hmm.
to see, like, it's not saying it's painful, like I'm hurt, it's a family member. To see the way Nintendo is now, it's like a former shadow of their self. Like I don't understand how Nintendo got to where they are now. And I kind of noticed, I'm gonna be real with you, like in the early '90s, how Nintendo was more strict than Sega. Because I remember Mortal Kombat had all the
Hmm.
blood and gore out of the box, but the Super Nintendo version, you had to put this special code in or something to get the blood and gore. Like, damn, why? I remember because I had the Super Nintendo, and the Super Nintendo was more powerful than the Genesis. It came out after the Genesis. I think like 2 years, 2 or 3 years after the Genesis, 2 years
Yeah.
after the Genesis. You know what I mean? And to me, like I said, to me, one of Nintendo's biggest gripe. And you're right, it's not always about power. And that's not like I said. The PS2 was the least capable system less powerful system between the original Xbox and the
And the game.
GameCube. For the record, the GameCube was a beast. It was a very
Yeah.
powerful system. It wasn't as powerful as the original Xbox, but it was more powerful than the PS2. They
Yeah.
came out after the PS2. It was newer tech. It is what it is. But the PS2 was a capable system. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now we got the Wii U. And in my heart of hearts, I believe again that Nintendo did not put out the Wii U to compete with the PS4 or the Xbox One. They put
Mm-mm.
it out to compete with the 360 and the PS3. And the
Yeah.
reason why I say this, maybe you may disagree. And I remember like E3 to 2012 and 11, and it was coming out that the Wii U was going to have 2 gigs of RAM, and
Hmm.
it was 4 times or 5 times the much of RAM that's in the 360 and all that. I remember Dr. Trade, all these, maybe not Trade, but all these different Nintendo people were jumping up and down saying how the Wii U was going to crush the PS3 and the 360. And I've always said, like, you do realize that the Wii U's competition is not the PS3 or the 360, it's the PS4 and the Xbox One.
Yeah.
Yes, at that time, 2 gigs of RAM did sound great, but you can't tell me that Nintendo didn't know what Sony and Microsoft were doing, or they shared the same developers, third party. I'm quite sure Activision or whoever THQ went to them, hey, this is what we want to make, and we
Hmm.
need X, Y, and Z. I remember the interview with Bethesda, and they saying the reason why they don't support Nintendo console. They said like Microsoft and Sony went to different third and listen here, this is what we're making. What do you think? Nintendo didn't consult with anybody. Nintendo made the Wii U for them and thought about third party or whatever the case later on. I
Yeah.
mean, I look at it like this: you put out a console, $350. It's economy, and you need believe it or not, you need third party. I don't give a fuck
Hmm.
whether you can dance to a different beat. You get exclusive every 2 3 months. You get multiplats every Tuesday. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah.
And I was being real, in all honesty. And I think the biggest problem for the Wii U was when it came out because, like I said, I had the PS3 and the 360 since day one. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Both of them, 2005, the 360, 2006, the PS3. And when I got the Wii U, and you guys that don't know, I bought the Wii U day one. And when I got this system home, it was no different than what I've been playing for the last 7 to 8 years.
Yeah.
The reason why I bought the Wii U, and I'm saying I don't really care for Nintendo's exclusives. I don't like Mario Kart and all that shit. But I wanted a better version of all these multi-platforms. They say it was getting all, and like I said, the Wii U, in all due respect, it did launch with a pretty decent third party library. It had a lot of third party support at launch. Nintendo fans didn't go out and support, but that's another story. We're going to talk to that. We're going to come to that in a minute.
Yeah.
But with the games like Tekken Tag, they didn't look no different than what I've been playing for the last 7 to 8 years. And I think that was as far as me, that was a really big disconnect on my end. I'm like, oh, this shit don't look no different. Because I remember you didn't really see any of the gameplay, and everybody said, there are just ports. And everybody, all the Nintendo fans, they were just ports. You can't judge a system on the ports. And remember, Dr. Trey showed some of the 360 ports, and when they launched, and those games were running on single core. But the problem was, and I think a lot of Nintendo apologists or Nintendo damage controllers, they didn't understand that yes, the 360 games, they were ports. They were only running on one core. But when you saw some of those launch games, you knew that they could not be done on current gen or previous gen. But with the with the Wii U games, they came out. None of those games looked like you couldn't make that on the PS3 or the 360. Yeah. That was to me. And then you had games like Tekken Tag Tournament, right? Mm-hmm. No voice chat, no game invites. I'm thinking like, what the fuck, it's great. And I bought Assassin's Creed 3. I bought all these games, all these third-party games, and there was no voice chat. There was no game invites. And I'm thinking like, God damn, how can Nintendo put out a system in 2012 that couldn't do the basic shit that my original Xbox did in 2002? That blew my mind. I didn't understand it. And Nintendo, everybody said I'm too hard on Nintendo, and I said, what you mean? Like, what I'm too hard on Nintendo? Is this acceptable? Like, I don't understand that, you know what I mean? And then, and what and I'm sorry, this is your interview, but I'm just trying to share something with you. Yeah. And with me, my big disconnect, again, it came with Nintendo and the Wii U and their policies. Miyamoto did an interview on GameSpot or something, and he said that Nintendo just now sees the importance of online gaming in 2013. I'm like, God damn. Xbox Live came out in 2002. Then it came on. Miyamoto did an interview and said, we don't do well at competing. Like, they do their own thing. It's okay to be, it's okay to be different. It's okay to be different and do your own thing. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But you have to compete. Then they didn't take the stage at E3. And then I saw their E3 presentation, right? So I was waiting to say, I'm going to wait to see. Everybody said, wait, we're going to see the power of the Wii U. And they showed these games, and oh my God. And look at Bayonetta 2. It looks okay. It looked like something that really can't be done on, and that's nothing to slap your mama graphically, but that's the only game I can see myself owning a Wii U for. And bro, I'm going to say this. I never traded any of my consoles or traded any games. When I took my Wii U to GameStop, that was more of a statement. Like, I fuck this. Because I can justify myself owning a $350 console to play one game. Yeah. Bayonetta 2. Like, I understand that shit, man. I'm like, oh my God. I was like, wow. And then, like, they were just so, like, out of date, not in touch with anything. Then I, quite sure you probably know that my first game, Wii U, yes, baby, there was something wrong with the tablet. Okay, all right. Give me this. Okay, 1 second. Don't tell mommy to come in. Mommy help you brush your teeth. And give me 1 second. Give me 1 second here. 1 second here. Take a sip of water. Okay. Okay. Go give me a cup. Give me a cup. Go get me your cup. Go get me a cup. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My first game tablet was broken. Whatever it was a problem with the tablet. I had insurance with GameStop, but it wasn't even over a month. But, I bought a couple games, Nano Assault, I bought a few games digitally on the Wii U Marketplace, or eShop, I'm sorry. And when I went to log in when I got the new console, I went to log in with my Zaire 720, it was my gamer tag on the Wii U at the time. And it told me that that ID was tied to another console. So I was like, tied to another console? So I was like, all right, fuck, I got to pick another. But, bro, the $60 that I spent on the eShop, whatever the fuck I spent, and that was like really another letdown. They didn't let me get back my games that I previously downloaded. So I'm on the phone with Nintendo 2 or 3 days. They told me I got to send them a credit card. Mind you, they see that I bought this shit. I gave them the email, I gave them the confirmation, all this shit here. And this was crazy. I didn't understand this shit, yo. This is after the console's been out a month. I don't know what they do now, but that was the same. yeah, like I said, I'm on the phone with these people 2, 3 days. Like, yo, I bought this. I'm showing them, your boss, and they give you your confirmation to your credit, to your email that you purchased such and such. I'm like, yo, this is what I bought. Like, how did go back and get my games that I had access to? I'm like, yo, this shit. I just like, no, I was on the phone with them for 3 days. I don't know what the process is now and how they go about, doing it. But that was another thing, which is really to say, man, fuck this Wii U. I'm
Uh,
done with it. That's when I really start bashing them. That's when I really said, I'm saying, like, they start bashing them and stuff, on YouTube and shit. But everybody say, you're not being fair to NXTGEN720. But a lot of people, like I said, that was different. A lot of people that offered their opinion on the console didn't go out and buy them motherfuckers. I wasn't someone just gave, a bunch of shit and was hating. I went out
yeah.
and bought this motherfucker, and this is not acceptable. Now, I got my backdrop out of the way. Now, what made you say, you know what? I need more than just a Wii U. I need something that's truly next gen. That's what you felt. What made you get ahead and get another console? And
Uh,
was that your intention? Go. Did you thought the Wii would just hold you over? Was that your intention, or you already knew from the beginning that you was going to get a next generation, another console?
nah, from the beginning, all right, when Nintendo had that E3 when they were saying that they were going to have all the third parties, games plus the first party, I was thinking that was going to hold me over for a little bit. And I had built myself a high-end PC. I got a nice rig and everything. So I figured I was going to stick with my Wii U, my PC, get all my third-party games on PC, and play all my first party on the Wii U. So as time goes by, I start seeing how third parties are dropping the Wii U, and they ain't really getting no support. So I'm looking at the all the games that are going to be passing up
You wanna go bye
the
bye?
Wii U, and even on
You
the
wanna go bye
PC, there's some games that just aren't coming. So
bye? Huh?
I would go into GameStop and I
Come
was looking at the
on, go bye bye.
PS3,
Go bye bye.
PS4, and the Xbox
Come
One,
on.
and kind of just deciding which
All
one
right.
I
Well,
want.
let's
I
go.
knew I was
Yeah.
going to get one eventually, but I just wasn't sure which one. I previously owned a PS4,
Mm-hmm.
but I was a little upset that I couldn't take all the stuff.
Wait,
Kind of how you felt
wait,
about the.
you previously owned a PS4 or PS3?
I'm sorry, PS3.
Okay.
And the same way how you felt about not being able to get your content from the Wii U to your new Wii U console, I kind of felt like that with Sony. So I had bought all these games digitally on the PS3. I bought all these things, and when they said they couldn't trade that over to the PS4, I was a little upset by that. So, and I never owned a Microsoft console, so I was thinking, well, I'm gonna try this Xbox One. I was
Okay.
impressed by the initial conference where they showed off all that TV stuff, and everybody gave them
Oh yeah.
problems.
The features.
I knew third parties were going to come to the Wii U, so I mean the Wii U, the Xbox One, so that didn't really bother me. So I was interested in the Xbox One then. So I just, my Wii U's been collecting dust. I don't even play it, except for a couple of first party games like Mario 3D World. I play with my wife or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I knew I was going to eventually get one of the consoles. I just didn't know when and which one.
Mm.
So
What chose you between the PS4 and the Xbox One? What was the selling point for you?
well, it was the fact that I couldn't bring over none of my content from the PS3, which I know you can't bring over 360 content. But like I said, I didn't own a Xbox console before, so I didn't invest in any Xbox stuff. But
Okay.
what it was when I would go to GameStop and they had both consoles there, and I would just play one and hold the controller. I really liked the Xbox One controller better than the PS4,
Yeah.
and I was playing Forza,
Yeah.
and that kind of hooked me. And then I liked all the I'm not saying Connect is like the best thing for gaming, but just being able to sit on my couch and say Xbox do this or something like that.
So Killer Instinct didn't get you at all? That's the shit there, bro.
You know what? No, it did. When I first seen that, I was thinking, man, because I remember when I bought that on Super Nintendo, I remember playing it at the arcade, and I was like, man, that's an Xbox exclusive. So I was thinking about Forza, Killer Instinct, and I knew that when it came to online, multiplayer, Xbox would get the edge, because they seem to always do that. Xbox Live seems like it's still better than PlayStation
Oh yeah,
Network.
by far.
So I was thinking if I'm going to get one, I'm going to do something new this time, something different. So I chose the Xbox.
Okay.
And I don't regret it.
Okay. Now you see all the hoopla. What do you feel about the DirectX 12 and it's most likely coming to the Xbox One? And it's crazy. I will say this. I'm asking you a question. I remember, as far as what Albert Pinello was said, there's a lot of things about the Xbox One that's not fully understood about our architecture and our hardware. And it's, he said it was like they can't wait for the truth to come out.
Mm.
And how they said. I remember in the interview he said, "There's no way in hell that we would give our biggest competitor a 40% advantage."
Yeah.
Or 50. But then people say the PS4 was 40% more powerful, or 50%. He said, "No way in hell we would give our biggest competitor a 40 or 50%, advantage." You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Which is true. You know what I mean? I remember I covered that in one of my videos, and I got bombed for it. You know what I mean? And people were judging by the first multiplayer. I said, I said, this whole resolution 1080p 60 frame thing, it's not going to be, once like I said, once the Xbox, the software and the kits and different shit become more mature, that whole 1080p thing. Because like I said, this is the only generation I've been arguing about resolution. 90% of the PS3 library is sub HD, is upscale. There are
Yeah.
games that are on the 360 that's 720p, and they're 540p on the PS3. But
Mm.
it's always been about I'm sorry, about games. And I think Microsoft, they got kind of cool with their plans now. They rushed to all these exclusives. Hey, this should have upscale. We're gonna finish that on the back end. I believe the Xbox was supposed to come out in 2014. But
Mm.
Sony went out and launched now, and DirectX 12. This is my theory. Wouldn't be ready yet because they said because even if you guys fuck with your boy in my channel, I said there are things about the Xbox One that Microsoft is still not letting these developers say. They still have non-disclosure agreements, and I forgot who I was. Some guy it was somebody on IGN. I forgot the guy's name. He said it's a grown man. He said Microsoft has these guys. I'm not gonna say the guy's name, but it's somebody from IGN. He was talking about me via Twitter. Said this is grown man always pet ponies on YouTube and this, that, and the other. And he's talking about Microsoft has these uh holding these developers or people. No, they're not allowed to talk about certain things in the Xbox One. I don't believe it. The proof is in the pudding. The PS4 just so now it's all coming out right.
Mm.
Now I want to see if this guy gives me a public apology. I'm gonna go back and then what I mean because they have the GDC. I think the March 20th. And if it does come out, like I said, the expert does have something that they like. We don't even know what the 8 gigs of flash is for. There's something and they have some extra chips. No one knows what they're for, and they're not allowed to talk about. The guy from DayZ, he said Microsoft has something big up your sleeve. I can't say it right now, but it's really going to be a big game changer. But anyway, make a long story short, and I can't wait till this whole resolution because it's kind of whack. I can't wait till all this resolution shit gets done with, and let it go back to being about the games. So my question is to you: do you think these rabbit? First question is: who do you think has the worst fan base, as far as rabbit fanboys? And do you think that fanboys are destroying gaming?
Yeah. Fanboys are destroying gaming. I think honestly, right now, I'm gonna say Nintendo has the worst fan base. They have the best and the worst, and I say worst because they accept everything wrong that Nintendo does, and they
Mm-hmm.
don't speak up. And because of that,
Ah,
Nintendo probably thinks they're doing everything right.
that's a good point. That's good. That's well put. That's well put there, bro. Well put there.
Um, as
I call
far
them. I call
as
them Nintendo apologists.
yeah, they're ruining it. I mean, and that's probably why Awada comes out now, or a month or so ago, a couple of months ago, and saying that he realizes that he misread the market, and he now realizes that what they do in Japan doesn't work in the West.
Mm.
And that's another story too, because Nintendo just doesn't listen. But as far as being overly, I think Sony fans are arrogant. They look at they're the ones who are mainly talking about this whole resolution thing, and like you said before, and like other people have pointed out, you can't say nothing bad about Sony, in the media as far as.
Mm.
So when you look at fans, I'd say it's Nintendo and then Sony. Microsoft fans seem to just be, I don't know, going along with the ride, just trying to, waiting for Microsoft to reveal something big. Where Sony fans are all on this whole resolution thing, but that ain't gonna last too long.
Mm-hmm.
Give a couple more months. I say by this time next year, we won't even talk about resolution. It'll be all about the games.
Yeah.
It'll be all about the online stuff, and from what I understand, Xbox Live is still better than PSN.
Oh, you by
So
far. I have both consoles. I have everything. I got a PS4.
mhm.
PSN has got better, but Xbox Live is still. Microsoft is a software company, networking company. That's what they do. It's what pays the bill.
Yeah.
Sony is a hardware company. They make things. The fact that they can have that powerful console and not have the power supply inside the console, that's Sony's. That's what they do. That's their strong part. Kudos, you know what I mean? But when it comes to software and interface, that's what Microsoft does. You know what I mean? Like, even their two UIs. The Xbox One is not saying, the PlayStation 4 UI it is better than the PS3, but they still use that cross media bar, just little bigger boxes. The
Yeah.
Xbox One shit is much better. Question, you, boo boo. Now, one of the things I've been very critical about Nintendo is I don't understand how they can launch a game with local multiplayer and not have online multiplayer. How do you feel about that?
I just think that it's part of them being trapped in the past, not understanding that that's what people really want. I mean, there was an article talking about how Miyamoto or not Miyamoto, Iwata and the upper management at Nintendo didn't know about Xbox Live and PlayStation Network,
Yeah.
or they didn't know how they worked.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of it. If they don't understand how online, those online networks or structured, then they can't really do much with online. And I think it's part of them not having the infrastructure. That could be it. Because I don't see why you wouldn't, put these games online. Even though last generation when they did Mario Kart Wii, that was like the only good one they had on the Wii as far as online. So they can do it. I just think they are afraid they're not gonna do it right, or they don't know how to do it right. I just think they're uh, and I think most of it is just them being trapped in the past. They're not updated.
Yeah.
So
Okay. All right. All right. Oh, okay. Now we're getting somewhere. You're honest dude, man. You're honest dude. You know what's crazy? Uh, Dr. Trey. I got to get him on this show. And one time I was gonna do this. I don't like this Skype. I don't like the how you say sneak record calls. But it was a
yeah,
call. It was Shokyo and Dr. Trey. They were arguing. I forgot. It was about one of the Nintendo games not having multiplayer. It has offline multi. It was something. What it was? No, it was. I think it was they was arguing about the E3. Either they was either arguing about the E3 or something about online. But it was funny as hell because they was going at it. And I was going to name this video a Wii U homosexual versus a Wii U weirdo and shit, right? And but the file got corrupted on my Mac. I was mad as that shit. When they said they were going at it, and it's crazy because a lot of those Nintendo guys that do use. I'm not gonna say anybody's name. Fuck it. The gloves is off. Like Dr. Trey. He's
mm,
very critical about Nintendo behind the scenes, off the camera. I done heard some. Like I said, I'm not gonna say the names, but I done heard some of him in some Skype calls. Very very critical of Nintendo. Very very critical of Nintendo. Why would Nintendo put out this that is nowhere near as powerful as the Wii, as the Xbox One and the PS4? But when he does his video, it's totally opposite. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Totally
yeah.
opposite what he's saying. But which I don't understand. And I see now there's some ruffles in the Nintendo community. Some of the Nintendo fans are really starting to speak out about some of the choices that Nintendo is making, and do you think Nintendo needs new blood? Do you think they need to get rid of Iwata? This is a question that I
Yeah,
asked.
I
But listen,
think
let me
if
finish.
okay, he says he understands what he did
Wait, hold
wrong,
that thought.
and
Hold that thought. This is a question that I asked Mr. T.
uh,
Shout out to Mr. T. He didn't want it to. Right now, I don't have that information here
I remember
in
that.
front of me. He was trying to be political. So I'm asking you, the Wiiumad game, what Nintendo do? You got to know this guy's a Nintendo guy. Nintendo Facebook group, he is a Nintendo fan. You know what I mean? But do you think that Nintendo needs to let go of Iwata? Do they need new blood?
Well, okay, E3's coming up. If they don't show a complete 180 with the direction they're going, and show that, and Iwata doesn't show that he can take the company in the direction that it needs to go, as far as online third party support, and just doing what they should do to get the Wii U where it needs to be, marketing. Yeah, I think he needs to go. I think Reggie needs to go. He came out with a statement saying that I'll paraphrase it. The desires of the Nintendo fans don't influence what Nintendo does, because
Ooh.
his job is to drive the business forward. Now that's understandable. He's a businessman. It's at the end of the day, it's a corporation, $1 billion corporation.
Uh-huh.
They need to make sure that they can keep those millions and billions coming in. But
Isn't it the fans that make your business go forward, though?
was that?
Isn't it the fans that make your business go forward?
That's what I was about to say. Because if you look at Microsoft and Sony, when Microsoft messed up with this whole DRM, all the fans said something about it. They changed it. I guarantee if Nintendo had the DRM and everybody, first of all, Nintendo fans wouldn't speak out against it. They'd probably say it was the greatest thing because they accept whatever Nintendo does. But even if they did speak out, I doubt Nintendo would have changed it. Nintendo doesn't listen to what the fans want. If they did listen, we wouldn't have so many games with the word "me" in it or sports. That last Nintendo Direct, they announced some game for the Wii U called, was it Rusty's Real Deal Baseball, where you're hitting baseballs at the UFOs. And Steel Driver 2, no one asked for none of that.
Yeah.
Where's Star Fox? Where's Wave Race? Where's, the next, F-Zero? Those are the games people have been asking for. So I think Nintendo doesn't listen, and if they don't show that they have been listening at this E3, then yeah, it's time to go. 2015, we're going to need a whole new president of Nintendo and president of Nintendo of America.
Speaking of 2015, now here's my thing. Now, with the Wii U, check it out. With the Wii U, and you're seeing what, and I'm going to ask you a question. Like, I don't understand. Well, I wouldn't understand. We did kind of cover this, but I'm going to say it again. I believe in my heart that Nintendo didn't put out the Wii U to compete with with the PS4 and the Xbox One. It was to compete with the PS3 and the 360. They put out a next generation console, their next generation console, that really can't run any next generation engines.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the crazy. Like they would never get a Witcher 3. They would never get a what the hell else is coming out that's using the Unreal Engine 4? Anything that's going to use the Unreal Engine 4, you know what I mean? And I remember that Epic, they previewed the Unreal Engine 4, right? And of course engines can be scaled down, you know what I mean? But he Warren, what's that my man name from Epic? He said Jesus Christ, what the fuck, Mark Rain. He said, Unreal Engine 3 is for the Wii U. And I remember, and a lot of these Nintendo fans were saying, well, the 360 and the PS3 only use like 20% of the Unreal Engine 3. They're not going to use the whole engine they're not going to use the whole thing in the Unreal Engine 4, which is cool. But the Nintendo they're not going to get all, I mean, they're not going to get the whole shitload of games that are coming out, on those, on the PS4 and the Xbox One. You know what I mean? Like they put their GPU was whatever it's in it. It's DirectX 10 with some DirectX 11 features. Yeah. It's not DirectX 11. You know what I mean? DirectX 10 is old as hell. Like they spent more, which is the truth. They spent more on the peripheral, which is the Wii U tablet, than the actual console. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like I said, once again, not saying this all has to be about power, but the Wii U, like I said, it's not even a capable system as far as when it comes to the PS4 and it can't compete. No way in hell. Like, you know what I mean? These consoles have 8 gigs of RAM. Yeah. I mean, they have 3 dedicated to their OS. The Wii U has 2, and they have 1. They have really 1 gig of RAM. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of like blows my mind a little bit. Like, to me, I thought Nintendo was trying to catch lightning in the bottle twice with this whole gimmick thing. The Wii caught the nation by storm. My grandmother had one. I bought one for a church, you know what I mean? Yeah. But how many games did she own? Maybe 1 or 2? Now with the Wii U, Nintendo was going after that whole tablet thing. They was trying to, catch the whole tablet craze. Now my question, do you think, which I think they should have did, do you think that it was wrong for Nintendo to sacrifice the specs of their system to include this tablet? But if even they wanted to go with the whole tablet, do you think they should have sold it as an extra peripheral? Because we still have yet to see a game that fully utilizes this tablet and saying, hey, here, it's a good thing. Or even Nintendo's not even using this damn tablet. With Donkey Kong Country just came out, Tropical Storm, and all these games, they don't even really utilize this fucking tablet. So that's great. Here, this thing been on the market for over a year, and we really have yet to see one game that's a must-have title, for this whole damn tablet. And the same thing can be said with the Kinect. You know what I mean? We have yet to see, this skill, why Microsoft, included the Kinect. You know what I mean? I love it to death. I use it. I talk to the motherfucker all the time. I use it. I understand the first must-have game for the Kinect is D4. And I'm gonna see how that is. But I guess I use it on Skype. I use this. I use the motherfucker. I get it. But you know what I mean? Anything what I eat don't make people shit. But back to my question with you is: do you think it was a mistake for Nintendo to include the tablet, your opinion, or they were going to go with the tablet, so they sold it as an extra peripheral and had a game at launch or whatever that fully utilizes the tablet?
I think it really wouldn't have mattered if they had no tablet and stronger hardware. I think their problem is internal and not bringing third parties in. Because if they would have had a console that's more powerful, Nintendo fans still don't buy third party stuff. It just depends. Certain franchises do well. But if a developer knows they're going to make more money on Sony or Microsoft, even if the Nintendo console is just as powerful. Look at the GameCube. Like you said, it was more powerful than PS2, not as powerful as Xbox. It still didn't get the same third party support. That has to do with those smaller discs. Part of it. But
Yeah.
I think it would have helped them out better. I think if they would have came out like they have that Pro controller, if that would have been the standard controller and they didn't have the gamepad and they could have used, because I think I read something where they said that the gamepad is like $170 investment for Nintendo. If they could have put that into the GPU and RAM or whatnot, got a little more power out of the console, maybe we would see some more of these third party games coming to the Wii U, but I still don't think it would be as much. I think their problem is, if they could go back, in time and redo this Wii U, they'd have to take it from the drawing board, take out the name Wii U, don't even call it anything Wii, take out the gamepad, and really focus on what they claimed they were going to do, which is getting the fans back from Sony and Microsoft. So, I don't know. It's hard to say what that tablet could, or what the system could do without the tablet. I just don't think it matters. I think they got a lot of much bigger problems than that. It's yeah, I don't know.
All right, so here's the thing. Now back to third party as far as Nintendo. Do you think it's wrong for Nintendo fans to cry and scream about third party games when they don't go out and support these developers and buy these games?
No, because I remember two quotes from I think it was EA, and I know everybody dogs at EA, but the guys who made, what was it, Dead Space Extraction. You remember that game? It's like a rail shooter. It was for the Wii, the original Wii.
Yeah.
Okay, so they made that. Nobody bought it, and they were upset. Because they had made this exclusively for the console, and they were upset that their fans didn't go and buy it. There was that other game. It's a first-person shooter made exclusively for the Wii called The Conduit 1 and 2. Neither of them sold.
Mm-hmm.
So if it don't have Mario or Zelda or those franchises we know from the 80s and early 90s, Nintendo fans just don't buy it. So no, they shouldn't be upset. Like with this whole Watch Dogs thing, I honestly think Ubisoft is going to cancel the game.
Oh yeah, they said it was paused. It stopped all the
Yeah.
It was stopped altogether. But can you blame them? What Splinter Cell sold with 5,000 copies at launch.
Yeah.
Launch week.
They should cancel it because who's going to buy it? The Nintendo fans ain't going to buy it. And I own an Xbox One, a PC, and a Wii U. I definitely wouldn't buy it on the Wii U if I was going to get that game. It's not going to sell. So yeah,
Nintendo
fans
it doesn't make
complain.
dollars. It doesn't make sense. That's for damn sure.
It don't make sense.
If it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. All right, so no, so do you, all right, here's another question for you. I got three last questions for you before we wrap this up.
Okay.
Now, E3, do you think Nintendo is going to take the stage, and do they have to take the stage? Would you be, as a Nintendo fan, would you be happy with another Direct?
No, the Directs, they need to save those for smaller information. They have to take E3 the stage because last year they tried it and the feed didn't even work, and I think they need to show that they're changing direction, and in order to do that they need to go back on stage. They need to show their presence. It's kind of like backing down from a bully.
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft and Sony are kind of like the bullies because
Mm-hmm.
they're running the industry right now. Nintendo, it seems like they're used to be the bully. They were the big dog in the yard, in the 80s and 90s. Now they're getting beat up. So instead of running, they need to go back on stage, show that they can compete. They say they can't, and that doesn't make much sense to me.
Is it about the Is he thinking about the graphics? Is what it is? Why they didn't take the stage? Here it is, Sony, Microsoft, and Sony showing these big guns and all these fancy games, and here your games are looking like PS3 and 360 games, but a little like slightly better. Do you think that's why they didn't take the stage? Like, what the hell? Like, I never
No,
heard they got the direct.
I
Like, that was
think
crazy.
it was the content because I think the Wii U. I think Nintendo can squeeze the most out of their own consoles. So I think if they show up at E3 and they bring out all the big games that everyone wants to see, the Zeldas, the Metroids, some of those. I think what they're doing good is getting these partnerships with get companies like Platinum, getting Bayonetta. If they can come out and show, 6, 7 huge games that are exclusive to the Wii U, that are known franchises, that look good in their own right. They might not look as good as a PS4 game, but I think they can do okay, and they can
Uh,
carve
so
out their own little.
oh, okay, all right. So you still think there's hope for the Wii U? You
I
don't
think,
think you right now? You don't. I'm just saying. Here's my perception. You give me a. I think the Wii U has left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. I mean, they lost me. I don't give a fuck. I would never buy another. Like it's to me, it's not only is the console and the policy, their policy. They're too strict. Like Nintendo's trying to be everyone's parent. Like
yeah,
I can't even say the word damn and. Saying like, is this? I don't, But so if I play you in the game of Madden, or if when they did have Madden, and I beat you in the game of Madden or some shit, and I can't, hey yo, I bust your ass. I can't even see your message like that. That's like, like
yeah.
I just to me, it's just not only that the system is not capable, and also their policies. Now, you don't think it'd be smart for Nintendo to say, "Huh, fuck it, this week," because they didn't cut their forecast again for the Wii U. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I look like that shit. If Mario couldn't do it, like they say, "Fuck it, Mario." I don't think Smash Bros. Is going to, or Mario Kart, because you did have Smash Bros. And you did have Mario Kart on the GameCube, and the GameCube still ended up in last place.
Yeah.
Just being real, and I think Nintendo fans always say, "Oh, wait till this comes out. Well, wait till what's that? Wonderful Wonder World." They didn't even buy that motherfucker. Wait till what's that shit? Pikmin 3. Wait till Zelda Wind Waker. It's that and the other. And you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Do you think they should just drop a new system next year, or you think there's a chance for the Wii U?
No, I think they can't drop a new system because I think everyone likes to compare them to Sega,
Uh,
and the comparison's not really there. But if they abandon the Wii U right now and drop a new system, or say they announce one at E3, drop it in 2015, I think they will go out like Sega because they would be abandoning the 5 million people that bought the Wii U.
but
I,
that's
I don't.
all. But nobody's buying this motherfucker. You say fuck, the 5 million. They're not even buying software, bro. Like
But
I'm just being
yeah,
real. They're not even buying software. You say I got this 5 million. But we can maybe go out and get 30 million. Hey, they're not even this 5 million. They're not even supporting the console. They're not even buying any games for the motherfucker. So we have to
I
be
think
practical.
yeah, but I think they need to. They made this mess. They need to stick with it. Do as best as they can with this Wii U console. You know, uh, Start making it whatever changes they can make now. And no, they're not gonna get all those fans back they lost. I don't think they are. They're not gonna sell 80 million units. They're not gonna sell 60 million. I think it's gonna be somewhere between 25 and 30 at the end of the next 5, 6 years. They
Oh
just need
my
to stick
god! So
with
you
it,
want?
do
So
the
you want?
best
So
they
you want
can with
five?
it.
You want 5 years in the market with this motherfucker? Oh my god!
Well, I mean, it's because if they need to show that they can support the console. They made the mistake of cutting back on a bunch of stuff, and like I said, Wada admitted that he pretty much didn't know what he was doing. So they need to learn from it. They need to just ride it out, and then because they need to launch a console when Sony and Microsoft launch their next. Because if they launch one earlier, Sony and Microsoft launch the next one, it'll be underpowered again.
But it'd be more powerful than the PlayStation and the Xbox now, though.
It would, but then they'd be in the same situation the next generation. I just think they need to ride this out as long as they can, at least
But all right,
another.
this is what you're saying. Here it is. You got the Wii U, right? It's not selling. They're not selling much software. So you just say you just fine, fucking you're cool with selling 7,000 units a week in these countries and stuff like that. You want to just keep doing this for another 4 years? That's
No,
not really practical.
I think the Wii U, they're I think they're doing well enough for them to make profit on the Wii U as long as they can keep up with their main
There are no games.
franchises.
There are no games.
Well, they got some games coming this year. The ones they've been advertising since last year.
Okay,
They still haven't come out.
you got Watch Dogs. No, I'm sorry, not Watch. I'm sorry. You got Mario Kart, Smash Brothers. What else you got?
You got the game by Monolith Soft
And
called
Bayonetta.
X for right
You
now.
got four games, right?
Bayonetta. Then you got the next Zelda that's supposed to be shown hopefully this year. You got whatever Retro Studios is working on. Miyamoto's working on a new game. And then Nintendo always has their surprises. Hopefully,
Okay, now what that means. Okay, now what that. So we got 4 games, but no third party. You got all these huge third-party games that are coming out. The
Yeah, I just
Witcher, The Evil Within, and none of those games are coming to the Mad Max. None of those, the Crew. None of those games are coming to the Wii U. Like I said before, you get exclusives every 2 to 3 months. You get multiplats every Tuesday. So you got
yeah,
exactly 3 months with no software on your platform.
I just think it'd hurt Nintendo too bad if they dropped it and
But you
came out
don't
with
think
something
you
new.
don't think that's hurting the Nintendo right now? That when the last game to come out for the Wii U?
We got Donkey Kong, Tropical Freeze,
So the last multiplat. When was the last multiplat to come out for the Wii U?
Multiplat. I don't even know. Batman Origins didn't that come out on there? No.
Yeah, well, that
Yeah,
came
it did. It
that
did.
came out with, and that came out. I'm sorry, they came out with Splinter Cell or that's Splinter Cell, Assassin's Creed and Call of Duty. All that shit came out on the holiday. I don't think you had a multiplat game since then, if I'm not mistaken. And you get, like I said, you get exclusives every 2 to 3 months. The Wii U can't continue like this. Like, I'm just being real. I understand you're not turning your back, but that's not really practical.
I'm just
Unless they're gonna drop 2 exclusives a month, and they're not capable of doing that.
no. I know they put themselves in the bad
Or they're
position.
not even
I just think if they drop,
they can't even put out one exclusive a month. So what the fuck are you gonna do in this
I,
downtime?
I just think if they drop the system too soon, they're really gonna hurt themselves. Because look, if they drop it and then announce another, like they got that rumored
Yeah,
fusion. Have you heard about that?
yeah, yes, I heard about it. Yeah,
Okay, so if they announce that at E3 and launch it next year, I personally am not gonna buy it because I think it's too soon. For one, they haven't proven that they really learn from the
I
mistakes
mean, here's the
they
thing.
make now.
If now this it's supposed to be all in one, a handheld and the Xbox console.
Yeah,
Which they do pretty good in the handheld market, so it might take off. And you know that third party supports Nintendo's handhelds,
yeah,
so it may hit pay dirt. It may do. It may be the shit. I don't know what they sell it for, $350 or $400 or whatever the case may be. But like I said, Nintendo does well in the handheld department. They really do. With that being said, I just don't understand. I hear what you're saying, but I really think it's like business suicide because they don't have any software in between. You have the new Batman game that's coming out, and they said it's only on next generation. That's crazy. Dr. Trey said just because they didn't announce it, that's crazy. That motherfucker is like, woo. But I read the thing. I read some of the spec. Even though that game is using Unreal Engine 3, on the RAM, on the memory side, that it says that the Batman build alone was more than a Xbox 360 game. You know what I mean? As far as
yeah,
the
yeah.
RAM, what I mean, like what's going into the vehicle alone, it would exceed the RAM and stuff that's on the current gen. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Just the fucking the Batmobile alone, you could walk in buildings, no load times.
yeah.
And like I said, that can't be done on current gen. You know
No,
what I
that's
mean?
not coming out on Wii U.
Yeah.
They said they're making that from the ground up on PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah, it's
So
no way in hell. Even though it uses Unreal Engine 3, there's no way in hell the Wii U can run that game.
no,
And I don't see them downscaling that game to put it on the Wii U because they didn't buy the last goddamn Batman game on the
yep.
Wii U. So even like I said, and like I said, I told you I had like two more. We kind of answered the first two, but this is like the last question I have for you.
Mm.
Who do you think is to blame for Nintendo and the way third party is right now, or for not getting these third party games? Do you think it's actually third party, or do you believe it's the Nintendo fan base and not supporting them?
I think it's a little bit of all of it. I mean, even Nintendo themselves,
Wait,
they're
wait. So you think it's third party? You think it's third party also? All
a little bit because
right. Well, I gotta hear this one. So why is it third party also?
I guess when you look at what they did with some of these multi-plats on the Wii U, they took out features and stuff like that, and still expected
Oh,
it to sell at full
okay.
price.
What feature were these? Some of the online features?
Well, the online I can understand because online sucks on the Wii U. And I'm hearing that some of those features that were left out were because Nintendo didn't let them do certain things, like
Yeah.
because of privacy, not privacy issues,
Yeah.
with the kids and stuff like that.
And
But like,
also too, like with the whole lobby, like I said, Nintendo fan, but as far as Injustice of Gods, the game, the Mortal Kombat creators or whatever, fuck,
yeah,
Ed Boon and them, and Nintendo fans were mad at them Neverland Studios because they didn't have a lobby and all stuff. And I read the thing that they said on Twitter that Nintendo didn't have the basic things in place for them to attach a lobby to.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I
So
mean? You know what I mean? So I don't say, here's the thing. I don't understand. Like, Nintendo fans got mad at EA they didn't put Crisis 3 on the Wii U. Why would they put Crisis 3 on the Wii U when the Vita version of Call of Duty outsold the Wii U version? I don't
yeah,
understand that.
yeah.
If it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. You got this whole EA conspiracy. EA needs Nintendo just as much as Nintendo needs EA. I don't, if it doesn't, they were mad at Ubisoft for making Rayman Legend go multiplat. Why wouldn't they make Rayman Legend go multiplat when you guys only bought 70,000 copies of fucking Assassin's Creed 3 back then?
I think with the Rayman, you look at that type of game, it's a better fit for something like Nintendo, and I think Nintendo fans just got mad that it was getting ported over.
Yeah, but
But
okay, fine. And that, with that being said, like they didn't buy the Wonderful World of 101. Like, so they don't buy any software. Like, at the end of the day, like you're not even supporting your own things, man. Like, that's the craziest shit ever.
yeah, you can't. I don't think they can blame third parties too much. I mean, it is mainly the Nintendo fan base
Yeah.
and Nintendo themselves, because you know who, I forget who it was. I think it was someone from EA a while back, last generation, said that Nintendo wakes up in the morning and thinks about how to benefit Nintendo, not their third party partners. So, and it wasn't until I know Miyamoto said he was going like door to door to third parties and trying to, influence them to get over to the Wii U. But I think it was too little, too late. This
Even if
goes
they
back
come over
to
there,
the
like, I remember even Trey did a video said, you guys, Ubisoft has been a big supporter of the Wii U, but you guys got to come out and support Ubisoft if you want their
yeah,
games. You
and that's
can't be
not going to
mad
last
about
long. I
Watch
think
Dogs.
Ubisoft is backing away right now.
You can't be mad about them pausing, or canceling Watch Dogs. You guys didn't buy Splinter Cell. You guys didn't buy Assassin's Creed. You guys didn't buy any of those games. You know what I mean? I don't think, is there any third party game that's a million seller on the Wii U? Or
On the Wii U,
500,000? Or
I don't
is
think on
any
the Wii
third
U
party
though.
game that sold 500,000 copies on the Wii U?
Which one?
Has any third party game sold at least 500,000 copies on the Wii U? Just being
Probably
real.
not.
Come on, just being real. Has any, so again, and you can't blame, like I said, you can't blame the install base because the PS4 and the Xbox One, they have, third games that may have sold 1 million units. So, what I'm saying? Or 500,000
Yeah.
copies. So that's a big, misconception. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, we've been at it 52 minutes. Shout yourself out. It's like, I didn't get to go for a couple of, try to get you back on one of the podcasts. It's been nice talking to
Okay.
you. You know what I mean? But again, shout yourself out, and, anything you want to say, anything you got coming up on your channel that you want to let the people be aware of.
Just check back each Friday. I do the Wiiumad Gamer Show. I try to have people on there as well. Mondays, when I get around to it, I do write articles. I do opinion
Yeah,
pieces
do me a favor.
on my website.
Give me a link to both your website and your YouTube channel so I can put them in the bottom of this video.
Okay, I'll get that to you. Also, I want to ask you a question real quick.
Okay, got me in the hot seat. What's up?
Yeah. All right, I read something. It was on, I think it was Forbes magazine,
Mm-hmm.
and people have been talking about how Microsoft's investors are pushing to sell the Xbox brand.
Mm-hmm.
And on a couple of places, I read someone saying that the Xbox brand could or should go to Nintendo. Now, what do you think about it? Do you think Nintendo would do
that
good?
investors, they own like 0.2%, and the new boss that just took over, he's a heavily supporter of the Xbox One. And the reason why the Xbox One is called the Xbox One, because the Xbox One has everything that Microsoft's involved in, whether it's Bing, whether it's Surface. They already said they're not selling the X. It makes money. If it makes dollars, it makes sense. The Xbox brand is extremely profitable. I think it's worth like over $24 billion. You know what I mean? They may have took a hit on the hardware, but they sold buku software, movies, DLC. Like I said, it's extremely profitable. You know what I mean? Even like I said, they may have lost money on the hardware, but they made that up with royalties. They said the Xbox. They already come out and said, I don't know what the fuck keep coming up. There was one guy. It was, I think he had like 0.5% or whatever the fuck, and then that one guy, they either turned around and made him the boss of the Xbox division. So if they sell the Xbox division, motherfucker, you ain't even got a job. You know what I mean? So
Would you still support the Xbox if
no,
Wada was running it?
no, to Nintendo. Because Nintendo's policy is too fucking strict. No.
Yeah, yeah.
My thing, like I said, my thing is with the Wii U. Nintendo, like I said, is I get the power, fine, but their policies. They're too strict. Too strict, and Nintendo couldn't afford than Microsoft. I mean, the Xbox, the Xbox division is worth $24 billion. I think Nintendo's worth $19 billion. Nintendo doesn't invest like that. They spend a little and look for. They don't take gambles like they spend a little and try to make a lot. That's the problem until they play it safe too goddamn much. You know what I mean? You know, shit. Like I said, there's another rumor that that there's a better chance of Nintendo. I'm sorry, of Sony getting bought out. The rumors around that the Samsung's looking to buy Sony as a whole. Like I don't know. I just did an article yesterday that Sony's liabilities combined. Sony's liabilities is more than Google's, Apple's, Microsoft, EA, and Samsung combined. Their liability. That's banana. That company has not turned a profit in 9 years. They went from having 133 billion down to 16 billion.
That's
they
terrible.
have not turned a profit in 9 years.
Yeah, that's bad.
Are you talking about the Xbox division being sold? But anyway, man, ladies and gentlemen, it's been real. It's been a sit down. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. It's kind of long. We had a lot to talk about. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.
You got it, bro. Thank you for partaking in this new. And it's not new. I've been doing, and that's another thing. Keep saying I've been doing this shit on my channel since I had invented the Bang Bang NXTGEN Gamers group. Well, you saw it. I mean, this ain't that new on my channel, but they let the haters go and talk. Anyways, your boy NXTGEN720. We out here, and as we always say, bang bang.